In his new book, hitting shelves on Tuesday, Mark Levin examines how power shapes history. And it's as relevant now as it ever was. Joining me now with some firsthand excerpts, Life, Liberty, and Levin, host and author of the new book, On Power, Mark Levin. So great to see you.
Big guy.
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
So this is not your first book, but how important is it in the lineup of your books?
You know, first of all, great to see you. Great to be here. Great to be in a free New York, at least for the next 6 months.
For now.
Yeah. The books really have a rational line to them. But you know what? I got injured. I'm in bed for 2 months. I start to think about things, and I started to think, you know, we talk about liberty, we talk about tyranny, talk about rights, but that's not really the issue. The issue is power. You know, we can talk about liberty, but what does liberty mean if you don't actually exercise liberty, if you don't really have that kind of ability? Then I started to think about, you talk about make America great again, America first. We talk about that. Well, what does that mean? What is America? We don't talk about what America is, except at a very superficial level. Why is America different than Britain? Why is America different than France? I'm talking about other Western democracies. And the reason is God. We were founded on a belief in sovereignty, that God is sovereign. And then the children of God on earth, the earthly application of that, we're the sovereign. We're the sovereign. And so our framers and our founders started from that perspective. No other country started from that perspective. So our country started with the belief in the Judeo-Christian value systems fused with the Enlightenment. There's not another country on the face of the earth that was founded that way. Then look at the opposition. They don't believe in any of this stuff. I'm not just talking about Democrats. I'm talking about the Marxists and the Islamists and so forth and so on. They don't believe in the Enlightenment. They don't believe in representative government. What do they fight for constantly? Centralization of government, the attack on free speech, controlling the individual, undermining free will. Today, you just had Bernie Sanders on there talking about robots. And I'm with you. I would say to Rachel, well, who builds the robots? Who maintains the robot? I remember when the ATMs came, and everybody said, we're going to get rid of tellers. Well, we didn't get rid of tellers. We still have ATM machines and so forth. The point is this. In America, freedom is a big thing because power is properly structured. Power is properly structured. How? Montesquieu, C.S. Lewis, all these great thinkers, they all said the same thing. You need power to check power. That's why we have a constitution. That's why we have separation of powers. That's why the left, the Bernie Sanders types, oppose it. They want centralized power because they're American Marxists. Right. And Marxism is incompatible with Americanism.
It is kind of interesting when you think about it. You know, the left is all about power. They don't make any secret about that. And when the founders built this extraordinary country, what they studied was human nature and how you create a system where you have power that checks power. And that's the secret to our success.
They had a blank slate. You know, Europe had feudal systems and all kinds of things going on. In fact, John Locke, one of the great philosophers in the Enlightenment period, and who was followed by our revolutionaries. He was the most followed philosopher during the Revolutionary period, and Montesquieu during the Constitutional period. They said to Locke, he's writing about the civil society and social contracts and all these things. And they said, well, where does this exist? He said, in America. He said, how does it exist in America? Because America is a clean slate. This is why our founders are so brilliant. And our Constitution is so brilliant. And this is why the left, the Marxists, the radical Islamists keep attacking it and attacking it and attacking it. Because they don't believe the sovereign is God, and they don't believe that we're the sovereign.
The founders, they would recognize Donald Trump. Why?
Donald Trump is quintessential American. Donald Trump is Mr. Free Will. Donald Trump is Mr. Free Speech. He doesn't feel hemmed in by all these, you know, institutional barriers and so forth and so on. I think they love the guy. I really do. And there were founders who spoke like him. They spoke out. Their lives were, you know, fulsome and enjoyable and all the rest of it. Donald Trump is quintessential American. Yeah. And I think that's why he's loved by so many people. It's also why he's hated by the left, because they don't like quintessential American anything. And what he's done in his ability to connect with the people because he is of the people. I've called him early on a blue-collar billionaire.
Yeah.
He spent more time with blue-collar workers than he did with billionaires. They talk about Mar-a-Lago, yeah, but he was always down there when he was building the skyline here in this city and so forth and so on. He understands the use of power. And the funny thing is, Charlie, they keep accusing him of being a dictator. He respects the Constitution. Yeah. He honors it. He celebrates it. It is they. They are the dictators.
Yeah, and the founders would also appreciate the fact that he did something before he came to politics. This is
a citizen,
right? And this is not what he didn't come here to make money. He made his money and then came to politics. So the book is On Power by the great one, Mark Levin. Dr. Levin, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Pleasure. God bless.
Yes,
thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.